I don't care about being the best edge rusher in the NFC or the NFL. Just be the most productive edge rusher in the NFC East. Win the division first. Start there. Win the division. All right, listen. Haason Reddick, do you guys agree with me what I'm saying here when it comes to my expectations? Is it too high? I think he's got to be the best edge rusher in the NFC East. Is that too much of an expectation for him? Are you guys okay with that? You all right with that, what I'm saying? I think he's got to outperform Micah Parsons. Are you all right with that one? Best, I'm going to write this down here. Best edge rusher in the East. By the way, I don't care about being the best edge rusher in the NFC or the NFL. Just be the most productive edge rusher in the NFC East. Win the division first. Start there. Win the division. GT says Chase Young, no way. Well, let's see. Dude's coming off an injury. By the way, GT, from what I'm understanding, Chase Young's not going to be ready at the beginning of the season. Okay? Seth says Sills, not too high. He might not live up to that. Yeah, but Seth, listen. Okay, say he doesn't live up to that, but he has 11 and a half sacks and he leads the team in pressures. You okay with that, though? I'm setting the bar high for these guys. Okay? I'm setting the bar high for these guys. Best in the East. Let's move on now. I love that. I bet you Haason Reddick has that goal. Let me have more sacks than Michael Parsons and Chase Young. Let me tell you something. Would we agree? If Haason Reddick has more sacks than Chase Young and Michael Parsons, he's going to be considered for the All-Pro team. Right? Now look at Gigi here. Gigi's doing this. Sounds like a setup to me. Easy. It's not a setup. These are my expectations for your guys. A.J. Brown. What do you want to see this year in 2022 with A.J. Brown? I have not asked you this. You're on point, Sills. All I want to do is win the NFC East. Dude, start it there. You win the East, everything is within reach. Watch this. If you win the East, you're 2 games from the Super Bowl. Right? Wait till you hear what I have expectations for A.J. Brown. GT, 850 yards, 10 touchdowns, near 800 yards. My expectations are straight up weird. You hear what Nuri says? Mr. Kennedy says my expectations are weird, that I want Haason Reddick to have more pressure and pass rush sacks than Chase Young and Micah Parsons. What did Parsons have last year? 9? You're making Micah Parsons sounds like he had 15 sacks last year. Chase Young missed the season last year. What's so weird about a guy who's had double-digit sack seasons the last 2 years in the NFL? Actually, if you think about it, Haason Reddick had more sacks last year than did Micah Parsons and Chase Young. So what's weird about that? Dude, I think you're weird. Let's go here. 17 touchdowns, 1350. Practice says. Big Pickin', 1,100 yards. Here's my expectations. Are you ready? I want him to have a better season than T.O. had in 04. I want him to be Terrell Owens. 78 catches, 1,200 yards. Now, T.O. did it in 14 games because he missed the final 2. I get it. But he did have 14 touchdown catches. I want 78 catches, 1,200 yards, and 14 touchdowns. Is that out of reach for A.J. Brown, who everyone is saying is a freak of nature every time they put their eyes on him in training camp? Okay? Do you agree? You're overlooking Smitty with an elite quarterback. I'm not there yet. I'm going to get to him. Flex, I'm going to get to him. I'm going to get to him. Hang in there. AJ isn't the question. Interesting. Practice. Very nicely done. He won't have 14 touchdowns. I think he's going to be a touchdown machine for the Eagles this year. I think jump balls, I think he's going to be a beast for the Eagles this season. I can't believe Xander did that. I can't believe Xander fixed this thing. Here, let me knock on wood here. Here, let me hit my head. Yesterday, Michael Irvin. Now Xander. To me. I'm getting agita again like I did yesterday. Unbelievable. Are you okay with my expectations, AJ? I want him to have a better season than what T.O. did in 2004. Okay? 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns, 78 catches. You're paying the guy $25 million. Okay? You're paying him. Right? You're paying him $25 million a year. Lito, what's up, brother? Appreciate you coming aboard. Thank you. Please hit the like button, guys. So A.J. Brown has to have a T.O. season. Devonta Smith. What are your expectations on Devonta Smith this year? Now we get into what some of you are saying. AJ's not really the conversation here, Dan. It's more Devonta. Okay? Big Sil's on the Eagle side today. I'm on winning. That's the side I'm on. Winning. 1,000 yards at least. Hurts to win 21. Sills, do you think Super Bowl is out of the question this year? No. I said you'd lose to the Bills this year in the Super Bowl, even though my brain's telling me Rams and Bills, I could see the Eagles getting there. I don't think the NFC, and I think a lot of teams going into the regular season have some issues. Stafford's arm's hurt. What's going on with Brady? Rodgers doesn't have the weapons that he's had in the past. 49ers are going through a transition at quarterback. I mean, okay, why not the Eagles? And you know what's funny? Xander said this, Sills, you're the only guy saying this right now, and I was saying it 4 months ago. What's changed? You guys have always been under the assumption that I don't think the Eagles are going to have a great season. I said you're going to the NFC Championship game. 75 catches, 900 yards, Pickens says. Devonta should have 83 catches, 1,100 yards, Dion says. So you're going to have two 1,000-yard wideouts? That's not happening. Okay? That's not. If they go to the NFC chip and they go to the NFC Championship game, Hurts gets the $40 million. I would still have a problem with that. Flex says 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. He'll have the biggest impact because he'll have CB2 on him. But by midseason, I'm telling you, it'll be a convo on who is the number one wideout on the Philadelphia Eagles. Who will be the number one wide receiver on the Philadelphia Eagles when everything is said and done at the end of the year? I like Edge here. 72 catches, 10, 25, and 7 touchdowns. 60 and 15, Joseph says. So you think he'll have more touchdown catches than what AJ will? Sills is trying to jinx us. Flex, I love that right there. Yeah. 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. Sills is trying to jinx us. Hey, I can't do any more harm to myself than what I did yesterday with Michael Irvin. Building a dynasty. You know, it kept me up all night too. Michael Irvin talking about dynasties to me. He's texting me and he's like, my phone blew up when I landed. I was like, bro, I hear you, man. Here's my expectations on Devonta Smith this year. 80 catches, 950 yards, and 8 touchdowns. So you got one guy that's having a year like T.O. And I'll put this out there to you. If Devonta Smith has 950 yards in that offense, and the other receiver has 1,200 yards in that offense, you may have the best duo wide receivers in the NFC. Okay? You may have the best duo of wideouts in the NFC. If you get that. Because that's a prolific, and that means this. Okay, how about this? I'll give this to Xander. If Devonta Smith has 950 yards and the other guy has 1,200 yards, A.J. Brown, and they get to the NFC Championship game, Jalen Hurts will be knocking on the $40 million door. The price is right. At $40 million door, he'll be knocking on it. He'll be knocking on that door. He'll be knocking on it. Jimmy G's not going to Cleveland. Here, practice. Let me ask you this. So you're going to pay $46.1 to Deshaun Watson. You're paying $12 million of that $18 million to Carolina for the Baker Mayfield. You got $58 million lined up just in 2 guys. One guy's not even on your team. You're going to turn around and pay $25 million to Jimmy Garoppolo? So you're going to be paying 3 quarterbacks $85 million, and 2 of them won't play. There is a salary cap. You're going to pay 3 guys $85 million. One guy's in Carolina, one guy's suspended. By the way, there's been no fine levied against him. It's like $350,000 money he'll lose. And it's not per game. This guy makes 46-1. Why would Cleveland do that? I think he's playing all 17 games this year. Pitts over people. Irvin said they could build a dynasty with the right head coach and quarterback. He never said they're building a dynasty. Oh, I thought he did. You heard it different. It landed differently for you. You heard it different, dude. You know, sometimes people say something and you hear it different. I heard it different. And pretty much everyone else heard it different except you. So it's more of a you thing. Okay, so I think Devonta, 950, 80 catches, 8 touchdowns. I think that's a great year for him. Okay? Hey, Kevin goes, that's the Browns for you. Yeah, I guess so, man. All right. Dallas Goedert. I love the fact that we're talking about what we're expecting as fans here for this upcoming season. And by the way, Jalen Hurts is not going to be brought up here. We've talked about what we expect from him. Win big games. I don't know what Jalen Hurts' numbers are going to look like at the end, except for this. Did he beat Green Bay? Did he beat the Cowboys? Did he beat the Vikings? Did he beat the Cardinals? Did he beat Carson Wentz? Did he beat the Saints? Did they take down the Titans? See, I think sometimes we put too much credence in those numbers. How many times have we seen Tom Brady win ball games just throwing the ball 150 times in a game, 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns for 150 yards? Sometimes you see Brady throw for 500 yards in a game and lose. That's what makes Brady great. Brady does what his team needs him to do. That's the question for me if Jalen Hurts has that intangible. You know, you want to know something? Isn't that the most important intangible that a quarterback can have? It's not so much about putting up empty calorie stats like we see Dak Prescott doing every single Sunday. It's about having the patience, the poise, the perseverance, all of that to understand I don't have to throw the ball 75 times in this game. Why don't we just run the ball 50 times in this game? Blow them out, go home, control the clock, control field position. Who cares if I throw for 100 yards? Who cares? And that has to come to the owner too. I don't want to hear any of that bullshit that Nick Sirianni has to have conference calls and meetings with the owner and the general manager on why they won a ball game 17-14. That stuff's got to end. Because Hurts is not going to be gay. How about this? I'll make this to you. Do you all agree? If you are expecting Jalen Hurts to throw for 4,500 yards and 35 touchdowns, you'll be sadly mistaken and sadly disappointed this year. But if Hurts turns around and beats those significant teams this year on his schedule, now we're talking about a quarterback that understands the position. Something that Carson Wentz still is trying to process. You know what hero ball is to me? I got to throw for 350 yards a game. I want you to figure the game out. There's a game inside the game. When Brady comes to the line of scrimmage, he's processing what they're trying to do. Well, they're going to take the run away. I've got to be a passer today. I've got to complete intermediate passes. I've got to move the sticks. Maybe not so much running the ball, but I've got to throw to my backs. Let's have a running game through throwing the ball. How many times do you see Tom Brady throwing to his running backs to create running games? It's about getting the win. Absolutely. That's what winning football from that position in the NFL means to me. That's why when I look at certain guys and you go like this, that's why you guys hate Kirk Cousins. You know why? That's exactly kind of what I'm talking about, isn't it? Cousins puts up these incredibly surreal numbers. Last 9 years, 6 years, he's had 4,000 passing yards. What's it resulted in? Kind of average football. And he's had Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson. Right? You guys look at him and go, what's it got you, Sills? So basically what Foles did, dude, you could be a substitute teacher in the NFL and win. We've seen it happen. You don't have to be elite to win Super Bowls. Joe Flacco is another great example. No one would ever, in a million years, mistake Joe Flacco for being an elite quarterback. Okay? That's why Jalen doesn't have numbers here. My expectations for him, it's going to be weekly. It's not going to have a number on it. It's going to be based on his performance in big games. And I'm not talking about the giant games. I'm not talking about like the Bears games. I'm not talking about those type of games. Okay? Lito, it's not about stirring the pot. It's about now we're here, man. We're like a month out from the start of the NFL season here, okay? Couple games tonight too, man. I can't wait to watch. I'll talk a little bit more as we get to the top of the hour, also what I'm expecting to see in the exhibition game against the Jets and what I want to see. Trent Dilfer, another great example. We're going over expectations on some of the players on the team. And get this, everybody on the team except Hurts. I've told you what I need out of him. I don't need a 50 touchdown season. I need a 13-win season with significant wins, and you win your division. And you beat Dallas, like Vermeil used to say. Beat Dallas, dude. Beat the Cowboys. It's not even about beating Washington. You can't lay up like you did last year and have an egg in the Meadowlands against the Giants like you did. Pitts, I've watched the interview. I know what the interview is. I disagree with you, man. Don't get yourself in a bind. I completely disagree with you. He said, in my opinion, if the coach and the quarterback are right, Philly has the beginnings of a dynasty. I don't know how else you look at it. If the coach and the quarterback are in sync, the Eagles have the basis for a dynasty. That's exactly what was meant by it. I talked to him. And that's how everyone took it, except you. It's okay. You heard it different. If the coach is the coach, the quarterback's the quarterback, the Eagles have the beginnings of a dynasty. Tell me I didn't hear that. Okay? Tell me I didn't hear that. I heard that. Xander heard it. D. Gunn heard it. Rob heard it. Everyone heard that except you. Okay. It's a you thing, dude. No harm, no foul. Exactly. If the coach, okay, thank you. Or thank you. Well, you must have a tough time with conversations with people, man. What do you really mean by that? He's one of them guys that does this. What do you mean by that? What did you say? Hey, what did you mean? Did you mean this or did you mean that? Or did you mean this or did you mean that? Or did you? Hey, bro, that's exhausting. Okay? Hey, Big Pickin'. I know that. By the way, that's not the first time Irvin has said that. Okay? By the way, Michael Irvin will join us during the regular season every Wednesday at 4:30. Okay? How you doing? Okay, Pitts. I'm sorry, too. Apologize. Okay? We're probably saying the same thing then. Okay? If I'm being sharp with you, I apologize. Okay? Okay? Here's the next guy on my list. Jordan Mailata. I know, the old linemen don't get love. Big Sills, well, Barrett gives him love. I'm going to give him love. Okay? Yeah, so we'll have Gary Cobb every Monday at 4:30 and Michael Irvin on Wednesday at 4:30. I'm working on Jimmy Johnson, by the way. I know, hey, hey, get this, Xander. My Miami connections, and I heard Rob say, well, Sileo's got these Miami connections. Well, I mean, help me out here on this. Is Tony Romo a lead analyst? And he's a Cowboy. Yes. Is Michael Irvin on TV? Yeah, he's a Cowboy. Is Troy Aikman going to be doing Monday Night Football? Yeah, he's a Cowboy. Is Moose Johnson part of the broadcast for Fox? I think he's the number 2 or 3 team. Yes. So there's 4 Cowboy guys that are doing national network television, and giving you football games. Just so happens that kind of goes hand in hand with people sometimes when you have these relationships. So my coach happens to be Jimmy Johnson, who I played for in Dallas too, by the way. Michael Irvin also I played with. And so we're going to have those three guys on every week. How you doing? So we get Jimmy on before he flies out to California every week. How's that for you? Hurts Dark Horse MVP, says Q. Wow. What's your expectations for Mulatto? Mulatto will end up being better than Jason Peters. Pretty big comment. Pretty big comment. Lito, the best thing about Playmaker's interview was you didn't let him talk about the Cowboys. Oh, okay. No, I already learned that when I had the owner of the Cowboys on. You guys told me to get that guy's ass off, and I'm like, do you know how many people get the owner of the Dallas Cowboys on their show? And everyone said, get that guy's face off my screen. Fly says all pro for Mulatto. I agree. I think Jordan Mailata and Trent Williams will be your two tackles in the all-pro team this year. That's my expectations, and that's pretty lofty. You put your name not in the Pro Bowl, but the all-pro team. You're on the all-pro team? Okay. Now we're talking about two of the greatest players in the game. And that deal that Howie cut with him last year is a steal. When Jordan Mailata goes on the open, how old is, by the way, somebody tell me how old Jordan Mailata is. Jordan Mailata's probably got two more big contracts coming his way. The next contract that Jordan Mailata signs, he'll be the highest paid tackle in the game. Because the next contract he signs, he'll be the best tackle in the game. Don't tell me he's 24. He's got 3 deals ahead of him then. Don't tell me that guy's 24. I got goosebumps right now. Are you freaking telling me that Jordan Mailata's 24 years of age? Holy shit. Jordan Mailata's 25 years old? Okay, I'm going to tell you this right now, and you can bookmark this. Jordan Mailata has as much talent as Larry Allen had at this age. And I think Larry Allen's the best offensive lineman I've ever seen. That is something else. Wow, he's 24, 25 years old. You're going to have the best left tackle in the game for a decade again. How about the way Stoutland and that Eagle organization? You had the best center in the game. Now you're going to have the best left OT. Ask Barrett that question tomorrow in Sports Take. You're 24, 25. Jordan Mailata has as much athleticism as Larry Allen did, and he's bigger. I don't know if he's as strong because Larry Allen was a 700-pound bench presser. But he ran 4.8s. And I'm thinking because of his rugby background, this guy Mailata could probably tick it under 5s when it comes to 40-yard dashes. Larry Allen, in my opinion, is the best offensive lineman I've ever seen because he crushed and destroyed. 700-pound bench presser. Ran 4.8s. Got his hands on you. You want to hear a legendary Larry Allen story? So Larry Allen got into a fight with somebody at Cowboy camp. Do you know what he did to them? He grabbed them by the face mask and he ripped the face mask off of the guy he was fighting. Do you know how that thing is bolted on? He ripped the face mask off of the helmet. With those bolts into the helmet, Larry Allen ripped it off the guy's helmet, the face mask. Everybody in the practice stopped because they had never seen anything like that before. It's like watching Bo Jackson break that bat like that. Watching a guy pull a face mask off a helmet. He turns 25. He turned 25 in March. That's insane. Wow. Do you think Evan Neal will be similar? Big D, I think Evan Neal's got to work a little bit more on recovery. I think he's really good at the point of attack. But there are times, especially in that SEC championship game, he gets beat on the first move. He struggles to get back. Mulata did that a little bit last year, and he got better at it. I'm watching him. And he's a little bit better at that right now. So he playing offensive line in the NFL is a lot tougher than it is to play defensive line because there's more technique. Dude, you can wind a defensive lineman up and let him roll. When you're talking offense, pass, you got to be a great pass protector and a great run blocker. Great in screens. Great in selling the screen game. Lito goes, you have to screw the face mask on, right? Yeah, Lito, I think I've worn a few helmets in my day. Yeah, I know. Okay? I know. Okay? Stebnowski told me the story. Okay? Dude, he ripped that guy's face mask right off his helmet. I'm like, no, helmet must have been cracked. He goes, no, I don't think so. Dave Campo, when they first started finding out how totally strong that Larry Allen was, he personally sent me an email with him bench pressing. I hope I still have. I got to go back and take a look and see if I have that still. Because Campo sent me the video of him bench pressing 705. Seals, do you think Mulata is better than Peters in his prime? Whew, man, Jason Peters is a Hall of Fame football player. Okay? He's a Hall of Fame football player. I'm saying right now, watch this. Jason Peters at 25, Jordan Mulata at 25. Let's remember something with Mulata as well. Okay, he's still learning the game. This guy didn't know how to put a helmet on 3 years ago. Okay? He didn't know how to put a helmet on. So I think he's going to be the all-pro. I want to continue this. I love what you guys are saying here today. By the way, look how much there is, man. There's a ton of shit. Craig Carton, hour number 3, also, by the way, at 5:30 Eastern, we'll talk to the afternoon host of WFAN. Also, he used to be on WIP in Philadelphia. We'll get his thoughts on Jets, Gigantes, and also Eagles. I want to pick it up. We already talked about Devonta Smith. I'm going to tell you what some expectations are of some of the other Eagle guys. Also, I'm going to compare the 2022 team to the 17 team when we come back out of the timeout as well. And I'll tell you and I'll explain. Hour 2, please hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies you see advertising on TV, they may try to downplay your case and might say it's only a fender bender or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. We put ourselves in your shoes and ask, what would it be like to be in your pain for the rest of our lives? $1 million wouldn't be enough for me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.